Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing another natural makeup routine. It's been a little while since I did my last one, and that was more of a review of the new Bois de Chanel foundation for men. So in today's video I'm going to do a combination of some various different products. I'm going to use the Chanel foundation again. I'm going to use a little bit of Glossier. As you guys know, I love Glossier for men's makeup tutorials, and I'm also going to use a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury as well. If you are new here, welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and you can also ring the bell if you would like to be notified every time I upload a new video. There's plenty of skincare reviews, grooming tips, makeup tutorials, and occasional lifestyle and travel vlogs. So I'm going to get started with the Bois de Chanel foundation. I have to say I've been using this for a while now and I really like it. I love that it's got SPF 25 in it. So in addition to my SPF 50, this just adds another layer of it, which is never a bad thing. And it's really good. I prefer to apply it with a beauty blender. I feel like that gives it a much more natural finish, especially if the beauty blender is damp first. And then it also doesn't disturb the SPF too much. I'm worried that if I wipe the foundation onto my skin, then it might kind of wipe or disturb the SPF underneath, and that's really important that I have the coverage and protection throughout the day. So that's another reason why using a beauty blender is a good idea. So I'm holding a mirror here upright so I can hopefully be nice and close to the viewfinder so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I always start in the center of my face because that's where I get the most redness. Now this does give a matte finish unless you use like super kind of glowy hydrating products underneath, which is what I do. So if you are looking for more of a matte finish, you definitely can get it with this. But I personally don't really like a matte finish that much. So after I've used all my different hydrating products, I can still get a slightly glowy finish, but if you do apply a lot of this, then it will go slightly matte. I get redness around my nose, so I make sure that I bounce it around there. Particularly, it was in one of my last videos, it was actually in my last video where I did my ride or die skincare products. I'll link it up above. And I noticed when I edited it that like around here was so red that I was like, gosh, I must pay more attention to how I apply the foundation. So that's that done. You could kind of leave it like that if you wanted to. I just feel like it's evened out the skin tone in a very subtle way, and I don't think that people would necessarily know that I'm wearing any makeup. But in addition to that, I would also like to apply a little bit of concealer as well, because I get those dark circles in the corners of my eyes, and I really do like to brighten those up because I feel like they make me look a lot fresher. So once again, I'm using my trusty Glossier Stretch Concealer. I love this for under eyes because it's nice and hydrating and moisturizing, and that's really important to me when using an under eye concealer. So a little trick that I've learned recently is to go over this with the beauty blender. So it can be the same one that you've used obviously for the foundation, but you just use the pointy part, and by just doing that, oh my gosh, it just, I think, gives a really good finish. Even better, because I usually tap it in with my fingers, but I have to say using the beauty blender seems to, I don't know what it is, but it just seems to give an even better finish. Now when I apply concealer, I always try not to apply it too close to the corner of my eye, because there's naturally a little bit of like darkness under here, and I think that it's good to leave that in, because if you completely neutralize all that pigment that's naturally there all the way up to where the eye begins, then it looks really unnatural and it can just kind of wipe you out. Whereas if you just leave a little bit of the darkness, you can see it just here, then it looks so much more natural, and I feel like that darkness definitely helps bring out the natural colour in your eyes. So I've literally just dabbed this into the pot, and I'm just going to go over these outer corners of my eyes where I still have a little bit of darkness. And I feel like that's just really done the trick. Now I have got the Charlotte Tilbury concealer, which is really nice around the nose. I actually have come to decide that I don't really like that Magic Away concealer under my eyes. It's just, for some reason on me, it's just a little bit too drying, and it just doesn't work for me underneath my eyes, whereas around my nose it does. But come summer, when my skin tends to be not oilier, but just, I'm going to say, less dehydrated than it is for the rest of the year, then it might work really well. But now my skin still is, yeah, a little bit too dehydrated, and I just find that it just looks really, really dry underneath my eyes, even though it is, in my opinion, a fantastic concealer. But if you do get, dehydration underneath your eye area isn't a problem, then the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Away concealer could be really good for you. I've actually done a review with that, which I'll link up above. It is a really, really good concealer. So now I feel like my base is kind of like done. It's really kind of even, groomed, natural looking. My skin looks more perfect than it did before, and I'm happy to go in now with just a little bit of eyebrow grooming and some lip balm, and then that should be enough. I just turned the exposure down on my camera because I thought it was quite bright, and then you can also see what it looks like in a different light, because if it is super bright, I feel like you can't necessarily see my skin so much because it all gets kind of blown out. But what I've decided to do is I've got my Charlotte Tilbury Magic Powder, and I'm just going to set that in place. It is such a good powder. So if you want to set your makeup, especially if you get oily skin or your under eye creases, then this is a really good powder because it's really nice and creamy, and it just sets it in place really, really nicely without making the skin feel too dry or powdery. It really does kind of give a little bit of a soft focus to the skin, which is also really nice as well. So I'm going to go in with the Glossier Boy Brow. Now this is a mixture of the clear and the blonde. I tend to mix them both together. So basically the colour of this is kind of like a slightly murky colour rather than the usual transparent, which I just feel looks a bit frosty on my very, very blonde eyebrows. So I just find that this combination is really good. Now this is really good for just like grooming the brows and holding them into place, but it also kind of like thickens them up a little bit, which in my case is good because my eyebrows are just very blonde. There's not much to them, and it just looks good if I like beef them up a little bit. I don't really shape them or anything like that. There's like a couple of hairs that I'll take out of the bottom and a couple out of the top, but that's about it. But I just feel like if I just comb them into shape, then oh my gosh, it just makes all the difference in the world to if I just leave them. I love it. It just makes me feel so much put together, and I like to comb the front bits right up like this. I just feel like that looks so much better. I'm always on the hunt for new brow products. Now I'm not really kind of interested in like painting them, not painting them in, but using like a pencil. I don't feel like I'm comfortable using that. I feel like that might be like a little bit too much for me. But if you've got any brow product suggestions that look really natural, not too warm and not too dark, then please let me know, because I am kind of interested in trying out some new brow products. So because my lips get so dry, I'm going to finish it off with a little bit of Carmex on my lips, which I spoke about also in my last video. I'm looking forward to summer when my lips don't get quite as dry as they do the rest of the year. But that's it to finish the look. I feel like this is just really natural and put together. It hasn't completely changed the way I look, which just personally isn't what I am looking for from a makeup look. I just want to look a little bit more polished, put together, where my skin looks more even. It's more the redness that I want to target with the makeup. So that's more around my nose and the dark circles under my eyes, and just kind of brighten me up and sometimes take the whiteness away from the SPF and just feel better and groomed. But I also feel like there's like a self-care element that I get from applying a little bit of makeup. It's the same with my skincare. It's my time where I look after myself and I groom myself, and it just makes me feel good in kind of like a well-being kind of way. And that's one of the reasons why I like to use a little bit of makeup, because it just makes me feel good. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you've got any suggestions for future videos, then please let me know in the comments below. You guys have given me so many ideas and suggestions for videos, so I thank you greatly for that, because it's always very, very helpful. And then it's also good if I can create content that you like. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.